Hello, and welcome back to the Shed Geek Podcast. A quick word about our studio sponsor. One thing the team at Shed Pro has been hearing lately from shed businesses is that many of them aren't struggling because of lack of demand. Things just kind of stall out. The lot is busy, but growth flattens, and it's not always obvious why. Usually, it's something small. The website, the follow up, how customers interact with you before they ever pick up the phone. So, Shed Pro put something together called the Shed Sales Audit. It helps you get a clearer picture of where you might be losing people. It takes a couple of minutes, and if you want to dig deeper, their team will walk you through it. Here's the thing: 9 times out of 10, the fix isn't more leads, it's a tighter operation underneath. That's the rest of the Shed Pro platform: configurator, point of sale, RTO contracts, inventory, deliveries, and dealer tools, all in one place. From website lead to final delivery, one clean workflow. Start with the audit at shedpro.co/shedgeek. Thank you, ShedPro, for being our Wednesday studio sponsor and for building something that helps the industry.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek Podcast. And thank you for joining us today. Today, you're joined by just me, yours truly. It's been a long time since I've done one of these monologues. So before we get rolling, a few ways to stay connected with us. My cell number, 618-309-3648. Feel free to give me a call, text anytime. I will try to get back with you same day. But that is my goal always. If not, I'll get back to you the day after. If not, keep texting me, call me and tell me, hey, you owe me a call, and I'll be glad to. Info at shedgeek.com is the email that I usually answer to. And of course, you can check us out at shedgeek.com. Go check out our website. Take a look around, see what you think. Give us suggestions if you see things that you feel could be improved. We're always open to suggestions, but just look around on it and see if there's something there that might be able to help you. Our Facebook page, give us a like and a follow. We really appreciate that. We've finally started moving over that 1,000-person hump on YouTube, so that means a lot for you guys to go and subscribe and send me a message. I will be happy to subscribe to you. If I don't know you're out there, I would love to know that you're out there and follow you in your shed journey. Those things are so cool and so just neat to me to watch. Your YouTube videos, your Facebook page. I'm always open to follow along and help build that brand organically and free. Can't beat that. Shed Sales Professionals Group. Give us a like on there or follow if you'd like to be involved in conversations that I feel like are always engaging, as well as other groups around the industry that we do not admin, like the Shed Haulers page is always very active. The manufacturers page, there's always good free content there for those people who are looking to learn more about their craft. And why shouldn't you be if you are going to do this for a living? The call-in line for anybody who has a plain community friend who does not use the internet, they can call in and listen to the podcast at 330-997-3055. Lots of functionality on there where you can go back and listen to a previous podcast. If you don't know what podcast to go back and listen to, you can simply get our newsletter, sign up for our newsletter, or just message us and ask for a copy of all the shows and the show number, because you can just plug in that number to go back and listen to a specific one if you want. So if you need the registry, just let me know. We'll get that to you, or go get it from the newsletter. It has everything there from the Wednesday shows, the Friday shows, has everything numbered, the dates, the guest. I think it even says how long the episode is. And the cool thing about that call-in landline is you can save your place and go back and listen to it later. So thank you, those in the plain community who listen and take the time to expand on your knowledge. We hope that we're bringing you entertainment. We hope we're being educational, and we hope that it's helpful. I do appreciate even some of the latest people that I've met who said they've been a long time listener of the podcast. That we've had a pleasure to work with. That just blesses me whenever I know that you guys are finding help through this. Normally we have a guest. So if this is your first time listening, you're like, what is this guy on here doing and talking about? I don't do these very often. I'm much more comfortable when interviewing somebody. And it certainly, it's a little different when you're here in front of a screen all by yourself, just speaking to the audience. So ask for your grace and your mercy on any slip ups, mess ups, or things like that, because it's so much more comfortable when I can let other people take the mic and just let them talk and ask questions and get their insights and occasionally try to offer some thoughts of my own. Um, Big shout out right out of the gate to our studio sponsor, title sponsor, Shed Pro. They've just been excellent. They've just been really good people to work with through this whole process. 2 years in a row now, they've taken our Wednesday spot. So, James, Stephen, a lot of the guys over there and gals do just a wonderful job. Big shout out to them. Big thank you to them for continuing to believe in our brand and promote. So we want to show love by making sure to call attention to that. And they just really have a good configurator. I mean, it really boils down to that. We know that from our marketing endeavors that we work in together. Our newsletter, talk about that for just a second. A lot of things that people don't realize about the newsletter that goes out twice a week to 4,500 contacts in the shed industry. We'd love for you to be a contact on there. So just send me a message, info@ShedGeek, if you'd like to be included. It offers blogs. There's good reading material there. Those pictures that you see on there, those digital ads, those are all clickable links. So really, good for advertisers, in my opinion, because these are measurable digital options. So like you can see, at least based on an email, who clicks on it. And we do sell retargeting options on there. So for anybody that's interested in some of our newer advertising options, live reads, banner ads. So a couple of those this month. That's been really good. And look, thank you guys first of all for listening to the podcast. And engaging with the advertisers. They pay money to be here. They pay money to be at the expo. They pay money to be in the SBJ. They're trying to promote their product. So thank you. Always give people credit for like where you've heard about or learned about these things, because it goes a long way for us whenever we're on a sales call and we're tracking down analytics and trying to show ROI. There's a lot of people who offer a lot of nice products, a lot of nice services in this industry that want to get in front of you, want to do a good job, and we want to help be part of that. So those are all clickable links. Go click on those. Oftentimes you'll get to a lead form that has previous podcast episodes with them on it, or it may go straight to their website where you can fill out a lead form or learn more. If I realize that a lot of that's new for newer people in the industry, but even the calls I get literally weekly that are like, "Hey, a lot of these people. Can you give me this guy's number or a contact here?" Always happy to do that, because at minimum we're a connector at heart. So like we really want you guys to benefit from the educational content that we're trying to put out, and hopefully entertaining. I hope you get a laugh every now and then. We do our best. One of the things on that newsletter is the big shop opportunities going away. I think we're going to take that down. The steel building opportunity. We have access to a shop in Central Illinois. Somebody's wanting to expand. They already roll metal. They've got CNC machines and they're looking to get into something, and they have access to plain community labor there that's looking for more options. So, it's just seemed like a perfect fit for somebody who would want to jump in. And we would love to be part of that conversation. If you're just looking to get into steel buildings in Central Illinois or cover the state of Illinois, we are more than happy to make that connection. But just really struck out there. Haven't had much luck. So if there is somebody who's interested in getting into that, happy to talk through that with you. On that note, job openings, equipment for sale, blogs. If you have blogs, we want you to put them on here. Contact me, contact Deanna, DEANNA at shedgeek.com if you have to, and submit your blog, and we will make sure to get it on the newsletter. If you've got thoughts on the industry, if you're a hauler, if you're a seller, if you're a manufacturer, or if you're a product or service provider in this industry, your knowledge, whether it be audibly on a podcast or written down in a blog, is good reading material for those professionals that want to continue to seek and do better at their craft. So if you've got blogs, send them over. It also gains you exposure with the audience for those who go through and listen. And again, for those who click on those, we do have retargeting campaign ads available for sale if somebody's wanting to stay in front of those people. And thank you for those people who do click on these different things to learn. I understand you don't always want to be solicited and you always have the option to unsubscribe. So, we don't want to hound you. We just want to be consistent the same way you would if you were selling a shed. But if you've got job openings, equipment for sale, and you want to put those things on there, it's free of charge. Just let me know. We'll get it in front of at least our audience. So more than happy to do those things.
Running a business means balancing constant daily demands with the pressure to keep growing. The workload, the decisions, responsibility, it never stops. NewFound Solutions is here to take some of that off your plate, giving you the tools and support to move forward with confidence. Have you always wanted to start your own rent-to-own company but don't quite know where to start? RTO Partners is here to help. Overwhelmed by all the moving pieces in running your own rent-to-own program? RTO Smart is a software that encompasses everything you need on one platform. Or leave the rent-to-own up to us and focus on what's more important to you. NewFound Rentals has you covered with traditional rent-to-own options for your customers. Shed Connect understands the complexity of the digital marketplace. We take the hassle out of online sales. NewFound Solutions, 4 powerful sub-brands, helping you succeed across every aspect of your business. Visit newfoundsolutions.com today and let us do the balancing so you don't have to.
Okay, where do we go from here? It's tough whenever you're having to be the one who's talking the whole time and not taking a break to hear what somebody else has to say. So let's look at the Shed Sale Summit. I went through our newsletter and I kind of looked at the topics that were on there, and this one really stuck out to me. Shed Sale Summit this year in Knoxville, the NSRA. So thankful to have been asked to do a breakout session there at the NSRA. I hope that we can bring some value. I hope that that you can learn more about rent to own, or that we can provide some kind of value that is adjacent to rent to own. So thank you for that opportunity, NSRA, and just love what you guys are doing. Keep doing it. Not that you need my permission by any means, but I just love to attend the events. I love to be there. I love that the industry can find a way, even with a lot of the bitterness that we see in the industry, to and competition, to find a way to rise above the fold and say, like, let's work together on that. And that's what that is. That's a room of competitors working together. So thank you for what you guys do, going all the way back to Leland, organizing that. What a great vision that you had there, Leland, to be able to put something like that together. So it'll be in Knoxville here in September. Certainly encourage you guys to attend. I think it's worth your time. I think it's worth your money. I think you should attend. Of course, we'll be at the expo, the flagship, and just really the family reunion of the shed industry. It's really nice to be there. It's possible, and maybe I'm letting the cat out of the bag here because it may not come to fruition, and if not, that's okay. But if it does, it sounds like I might be running a roundtable discussion conversation there. So thank you. If I do get that opportunity to do that, it's been talked about. Hopefully that comes together. This podcast probably won't come out till close to August, so we won't be that far away from the expo. And then I think it goes without saying, and it's worth sort of addressing this, just because it's such a peculiar situation. National Shed Show, different than the Shed Expo. That mantle's been taken up by the good folks over at the Shed Sales Summit, making sales simple RTO, simple marketing. Shed Talk, they've got like a simple Shed Talk. They've got like a couple different brands that they're working over there, but they decided to launch in February, I believe it is, in Daytona, the National Shed Show. Main reason I address this is, obviously what Marty's done, and Matt and the good folks, Debbie and Cal, and so many of them over at the Expo and SBJ, has just been amazing. Maybe there's room, for a competitor. Our position is to just be supportive of all things sheds and steel buildings and carports. Excuse me. We will see how that shakes out. I'm an encourager of both. an attendee of both, probably advertising for both. But the main point, and the reason I wanted to address it is somebody messaged me yesterday and said, the first time I've heard about this National Shed Show, are you affiliated? And the answer is a simple no, other than being an encourager or something along those lines. But this is what I found interesting, as they said, well, we looked it up, and AI, ChatGPT, says that Shed Geek's the organizer. Just to be clear, there is no ownership, there is no partnership, and there's no affiliation from Shed Geek with this new National Shed Show. That is the good folks over at the Shed Sales Summit and Making Sales Simple. Peter Miller, Andrew Boyle, Gary Boyle, Peter Boyle, Peter Miller, Andrew Boyle, Gary Boyle, a lot of those guys over there. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep up with all the names, but those guys are the ones running that. We would be nothing more than an encourager and an advertiser as well as an attendee, but no ownership structure there for me. So I don't know how you undo that from ChatGPT, that somehow they find that that I'm the organizer of that, because I am not, nor am I an owner in any way. Just want to make that clear. And the podcast seems to be the best way to do that, just so that it's out there publicly. Ways to listen and watch the podcast option. Again, as I'm going down through the newsletter, there are multiple ways to listen. So, and there's multiple ways people do listen, and all those analytics don't always track clearly for everybody publicly. A lot of those are internal through Buzzsprout, our RSS feed that we use and have been using for 6 years now, whether it be Spotify or Apple Podcast or now Google Podcast is gone. A lot of them are gone. A lot of these podcasts, just like with sheds, I think the same thing happens in any industry. And certainly with podcasting, you can see that where, somebody takes the mantle or somebody takes the market share, and you see some of the others fall off. And that's what you've basically had happen. Spotify, Apple Podcasts are still very much leaders in the podcast space. But you can get a direct RSS link feed, which we do in a lot of our newsletters and different things. So I know if that sounds technical, please forgive me, but you can listen that way. You can obviously watch through YouTube, which is the only way that we're dispersing it out visually. But again, the call-in landline all accumulates to about 1.2 thousand listeners a week in the shed industry. So thank you. I was thinking the other day, how hard it is to be a Joe Rogan. I'm not a Joe Rogan. I don't have big numbers. I don't have 50,000 people listening for every episode, and I don't know that I ever will. We've really focused on the niche, but of one specific trade, but really to get 1.2 thousand people to listen consistently, I feel like it's just a very big feat in itself. It's been very difficult to obtain that. And it says, hopefully, that we have something to say that the audience wants to listen to. So thank you. I mean, thank you from the bottom of my heart to listen, because without the Lord giving us this opportunity, we just wouldn't have it. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult because I'm probably more introverted than people realize whenever we started this. But I have my moments of both introversion and extroversion. So thank you guys for listening. It's just been excellent. Today's advertisers. Goodness, we already talked. We kind of discussed blogs, but I feel like this is a hidden gem. If you're providing blogs, those blogs are free. Those blogs help get you top of mind awareness. And I've said this before on the show, and I'll continue to say it. I still believe that advertising accomplishes basically two things, and there's a difference in advertising and marketing. So we can go down that road, but let's talk about advertising. And we're putting out ad copy for you. We're doing that in way of probably a disruption at this point, where somebody comes in with an ad, 60-second commercial. We have the newsletter. So we have digital ads, which operate just like a print ad in a magazine. They're just digital with links and trackable links. So now we know who's actually laying their eyes on it. Just a big fan of blogs. I mean, I can't say that. The blogs and the digital ads, the blogs are free. The digital ads are $100 a month. So if you're just trying to bring awareness just simply bring awareness to our product or a new product or a new service or something we're offering. Very, very like, I feel like fair pricing for awareness as well as top of mind, which is the other thing that advertising does. It either makes you aware the product is there or the service is there and what it does. But then the second thing is really like staying top of mind. I use Coca-Cola as the best example. Coca-Cola has now done advertising for so long and done it so well that people actually collect Coca-Cola advertising memorabilia. That's impressive, right? A new company out of the gate, they're really still trying to um, bring that awareness and keep that top of mind awareness there. But why does Coca-Cola still advertise is the question. If everyone knows that they're aware that it exists, why do they advertise? Well, they advertise to stay top of mind. They advertise because whenever you want a drink to quench your thirst, they want you to think of Coke. They want you to think of Coca-Cola. That's the reason that they advertise. That's the reason why they spend the millions that they do in the Super Bowl ads. It's the same way with your product and service. You have to stay in front of people. There's multiple touch points that happen. There's many of you who listen to this podcast call and say, hey, what about this company? What about that? We try to cover as much of that on there. And not to mention, everyone's invited. I think we've made this abundantly clear. Like, we welcome solicitation to be on the podcast. We do not see you as bragging. We do not see you as putting yourself above anyone. We see you as talking about your product, your service, and how it helps the industry. And that's free of charge. And it doesn't matter to me if you compete with something that we're offering. We will never be able to satisfy the needs of every person in the shed industry. So we're more than happy to advertise your RTO company. We're more than happy to advertise your marketing. And we're more than happy to get on here and talk with you about those specific details, because we believe that good conversation about these details betters the listener. It betters the industry. It helps us be more unified. It helps us be better problem solvers. I think, and while I understand that we compete, I also think there's a good opportunity to have a conversation that's real in front of people, and obvious, and honestly, not coming on. I don't want to say it creates any speculation, because I don't think that's true, and that sounds more like a hook. Um, but I believe that it's good for you to be on, and I try to solicit, all of you guys. I'm soliciting you right now to be a podcast guest or tell your shed story. I think because I've fielded the phone calls, that people genuinely enjoy listening to your experience, listening to how you came to know sheds, how you got in this industry, what your experience has been, what you're seeing, and then also the service providers and product suppliers. I think that people enjoy that too, and I know that because I've gotten feedback from so many different ones. So advertisers, blogs, digital ads, keeping that really affordable or free, and as well as podcast guests for you guys to be on here. So I'll run through, because it's been a long time since I did a monologue. I used to do 2 a year. I would do a mid-year and I'd do it end of the year. We're right here in July. It's been a while since I've done one. So let's call this the mid-year, if you will. And I know we advertise a lot. I know you probably see it on social media. So I know you might say, well, I don't need to hear this again. But I just want to give some love to those who are currently advertising. There's a whole list of others who have before, and we hope we win them back, over time. But there's a whole host of people here. So just bear with me as I go through some of these names and just say thank you.
This episode is brought to you by ShedSuite, the complete shed business management software. From inventory and quoting to e-commerce and delivery scheduling, ShedSuite keeps your whole operation running smoothly. Today, leading shed businesses are focusing on digital marketing and building their online presence because that's where the customers are. That's why ShedSuite now offers full-service marketing. Everything from ads, social media, and SEO to stunning websites, branding, video, and even photography. The best part? Your website pulls straight from your ShedSuite inventory. Update it once in ShedSuite and it's live. No more managing 2 systems like with WordPress or WooCommerce. Ready to grow? Go to ShedSuiteServices.com to learn more and schedule a call. Let's grow together.
VersaBen, Wendell Hostetler. First of all, if you're in the metal building business and you're putting up uh, buildings, you definitely want to get a VersaBen bender. Big fan of what they do. They've got some new products that they've added to it. They'll be advertising here over the next 12 months. So go check them out. A huge fan of what they do. Identigrow goes without saying the number one option to put in any type of insignia on your building, any type of branding on your building. They do a great job. They have multiple options. Check out the commercial. Go look at the website. LuxGuard, same. If you're saying I'm selling a quality building, you're not going to be able to wait on the customers to come and demand the product. You're going to have to take this to the customers to show them. But if you throw a LuxGuard on there and wrap that up into a finance or RTO contract, what are you talking about? $3 to $5 extra a month for the added benefit, the added value of that product. Can't say enough good for it. The Cardinal Mule, it obviously goes without saying. The flagship of all that we know and do, those neat little apparatuses that you see on YouTube that people talk about and discuss. They're just a staple in the industry. They have been, and I'm so thankful for what they do. They're actually here close by. If you're ever going to a Cardinal manufacturing here in Southern Illinois, give me a call, give me a text, shoot me an email. We'll be glad to have lunch. On that note, Cardinal Leasing, Jonathan Miller, someone I think of as a mentor, uh, someone I don't mind saying that at the Shed Sale Summit, they give you opportunities to vote for different people. Someone I don't mind saying publicly I have voted for because I think so much of the guy in and out of business. I think Jonathan Miller is just an excellent person. We have so much history together, and it's unique, and we've talked about it on the podcast. But I love Cardinal Leasing and JCM Rentals and what they do. IFAB, you guys heard the podcast recently, new owners. Um, I think I can go on record and say this. I don't mind saying this. I hope that they don't mind me saying this. But the first year they came on the podcast and then advertised with us, Nick at one point said, "Man, you made up like half of our sales this year. They came from the podcast." So many leads come from that. I don't know what causes a product to strike out or service to strike out, and what causes you guys to say, "I want that." All I know is they had a lot of success in it. And, I hope the new owners find the same thing as they continue to advertise. I love their product. I love what they do. I hope I'm not giving too much away whenever I mention something like that. And I also hope it doesn't sound too salesy. A little salesy is fine. Too much, not enough, or too much, too much. So, jumbling my words here. WH Supply, gosh, Carly and Bill Keegan, just salt of the earth. Some of the best people. Carly is one of the most talented people that I know, and I think you guys are sleeping on some of the designs that she has put together. She's even shared some of them on social media through the Shed Sales Professionals page. Just excellent stuff. But as a company, they really do just make it simple. Beautiful catalog, beautiful brochure. If you don't get it, contact them. They're near Lancaster. I can't remember the exact town, but they're there in Pennsylvania, and they service so many states. So like tons of products. Live Switch is another sleeper, and I almost want to leave it that way. I think the same way we saw Velocity 360 and Joe, kind of get on the podcast 3 years ago. We probably did 3 or 4 podcasts, and then eventually found the product that worked for him in the industry. And my, has he taken off and signed on so many clients for CRM. I think Live Switch is going to be that here in about 2 or 3 years, but I'm going to leave the cat in the bag and I'm not going to say too much about it. Obviously, Heartland, we appreciate you as an RTO company, a leader, maybe one of the largest, if not the largest RTO providers. We have opportunity because you've provided opportunity by doing this for so many years. So we thank you. Tiffany, just an excellent interview. Really enjoyed talking with her and Darren whenever I got a chance to talk with Darren, the CEO of Stormore over there. So big thank you to those guys. Chris is infamous, obviously, as a business person in this industry, and has just built, excellence. And, many of us are just trying to copy, cat some of that success. Solar Blaster fans is another one that I just cannot help but but focus on. I believe in solar blaster fans so much that I'm ordering a shed this weekend, and I'm making sure to have the light tubes and the fans put on my shed, my own personal shed at my house. That's how much I believe in the product. I love what they do. Dan Ream is an old school sales guy. He'll take care of you. He'll send you things that you need. This is another example similar to LuxGuard that the customer is not going to come in. Me and Cord's talked about this and ask for a solar blaster fan. It's an upsell, but that upsell inside of an RTO payment or finance payment is going to be dollars a month. And this is if you're selling I sell a product, a quality product, but I'm not going to offer premium quality options like LuxGuard, like Solar Blaster, who make it a better option for the customer overall. Um, I really think we're sleeping on this one. I'm a big fan of what he does. Was able to connect him with a couple people recently. If you would like to order a Solar Blaster fan, the lights. Look, I'll get on a call with you with Dan, and you'll just see that he's the old school guy. He is going to take care of you. He's going to send you brochures. He's going to send you vinyl banners, whatever you need to promote this. Um, Great product. NewFound Rentals has been with us, I think, maybe since day one. Obviously, NewFound's a leader so much in so many ways in the industry, not only in RTO. I think about Phil's story when he was working with Scott at BLI, and he said, I walked out. This is a podcast episode. We need to get him back on. Phil, this is my call to you. We need to get you back on. I think you're a great storyteller. He discussed how um, he thought he was a good salesperson because they were offering rent to own. It was a fairly new product or service, and he was going around and signing everybody up on BLI. And he said, "Man, didn't really expose me as a salesperson until it got competitive." And him and Ryan have since done just an amazing job. RTO Smart, obviously, one of the first to market with a do-it-yourself rent-to-own kind of option. Built the software that is necessary for you to be able to see everything that you need. Just overall good guys and a great company. I've been out to Wichita a couple of times with them, and they're just phenomenal. Creekside Welding, my buddy James Pate, up in Pennsylvania. Every time I get a chance to stop by, and I missed him this last trip, I always try to stop and get a little bite to eat with him. Just obviously a leader as well in the trailer manufacturing, and I just find him so unique in that what they build with Creekside Welding, the trailers. I've been to the shop. I've seen the process, the Shed Boss, the connection to the Shed Challenger, all of it. Very neat. Good trailers that, I'd never hear any complaints about. So big shout out to them. Consumer Aligned Logistics, my buddy Tristan, we use him. I mean, I don't know how there's a greater endorsement other than to say that at Shed Geek Rentals, we've used the Cal system and it works. It's that simple. It works. It has worked for a long time. I know other companies that use it as well, too. They've said the similar thing. He's a salt of the earth kind of guy as well. Just a good Christian man, comes from that, organic food world. And if you talk to him about it, it's a very interesting story. He's a biker. And when say that, I mean bicycle biker. Just an excellent guy. Every time I talk to him, and it's been too long, every time I get a chance to talk to him, I'm blessed by the conversation, and the service they provide is truly second to none in the industry. Shed Suite, again, another staple in the industry. These are all advertisers, guys. Like, these are guys I want to shout out to. And I know you might say, well, this is a very boring conversation. I want to hear about somebody's shed story. And I get it. It's hard to listen to every episode. It's hard to, I just want to take from it what I gain. But I would tell you just the same as you don't judge a book by a cover, don't judge a podcast by its cover. There's a lot of good content and some of the ones that you guys miss. But back to Shed Suite. Thank you for advertising. Their leader in what they do. Jason is really one of the best people that I know. He's been so welcoming on calls, on podcast. Anytime I've met with him, he's just been supportive. Can't really say enough good about him, and I think his product speaks for itself as probably one of the best, if not the best POS systems out there that you've seen, and constantly gets shout outs on the Shed Sales Professionals page. First Choice Metals, someone that I know a little bit less about, but that connection comes through Heartland, and just all of the stuff that they've been doing. I can't say enough about, these guys being willing to commit to us. And that's a hard product to sell, especially if you're not moving a lot of metal. But if you are, please contact them. We thank them so much for being an advertiser. It does mean a lot.
When it comes to building something that lasts, every detail matters. At First Choice Metals, we proudly support the shed, carport, and pole barn industries with durable, high-quality steel roof panels, siding, and trim accessories built to perform and made to last. Every product we offer is American-made, with craftsmanship and finish you can see in every panel. More builders and homeowners are choosing metal roofing and siding for a reason. It offers superior durability, a longer lifespan, and improved energy efficiency compared to traditional materials. At First Choice Metals, our mission is simple. We provide exceptional products for your building projects and deliver service you can count on. Because being your metal building component supplier means more than just making a sale. It means being there every step of the way. First Choice Metals, built for strength, backed by service.
The Challenger, gosh, I'm going to have to go quick. Real Work Labs, Country Classic Rentals, all these guys have been absolutely phenomenal. And I saved not the best for the last, but the exclusive partners, certainly for last. Maybe I should have put them first. I just want to talk about the True Shed Max program over at Pittsburgh Paint, their dedication to the shed industry. They are an exclusive provider of the Shed Geek podcast. We believe in them. We believe in what they're doing. We want to continue to push their product, push their service. Pittsburgh Paints has just been great, and their new True Shed Max program. You will have help at a local level. So, if you need to run to the store, they're going to take care of you. J Money, my buddy Joel, everybody needs a finance option. I understand there's multiple finance options out there. Through Upgrade and what they've been able to do, I think has been pretty cool. I remember when I was selling, I always wanted a finance option for the customers who came in and said, I want something because I have a little bit better credit score, but I can't cash and carry this thing. I need an option that's not rent-own. While we think rent-own dominates 50% of all sales, we still know that traditional finance, when you have a solution for them and they don't have to run home to their own bank, you can close the sale, and it makes a lot of sense. Velocity 360 CRM, almost goes without saying anything. Was able to get Joe the speaking spot there at the Shed Sale Summit last year, and mixture of that and the Shed Show appearance, man, it just set his world on fire. Him and Brandon have been closing business faster than they know what to do with it. And I'm sure he would like more, because he truly does get some of the best conversions that we've seen. If you want more conversions from your leads, they are simply the guys to do it. They have the data to back it up, and I think that's the most important. And then, of course, play sets and hunting blinds are our good friends over at Hirschberger Lawn Structure and Play More. And the Striker hunting blinds are, if you have not seen them, and thank you. I think we've signed maybe 5 people up this year to start selling those. And I just can't say thank you enough. I hope we continue to see people call in, email, or text wanting that connection, because we love making that connection with products that complement your shed lot, like a Striker hunting blind, like a Play More play set. Those things oftentimes bring people to the lot for your sheds, and they end up buying a shed, but they become repeat customers. And the hunting blinds are just truly cool. Where am I at? Oh, goodness. I've got here, I thought I wouldn't have enough to talk about, and I've got 15, 20 minutes left to try to get into some of this. Okay. Let's get into trademark copyright. First of all, got an article coming out in the SBJ over that here, probably October, November. I think you guys are going to enjoy that. And I just can't say enough about Justin Clark and working with him on the trademark copyright. We actually had a situation where, somebody applied to the USPTO and tried to copyright Shed Geek. It's interesting. We've had all kinds of strange things happen. People bought, domain names associated with our name. And the only thing I can assume is in hopes that we won't grow into that business model. And there's some mindset that says if I limit them by, owning their domain, they won't be able to expand into that area. Wild thought, especially a wild thought, whenever you actually go through the process of spending $350 to try and trademark, something that's already trademarked. So luckily the USPTO did us a solid, denied that request, but it just made me think, about wanting to talk about this on the podcast. Is I understand there's a lot of differences in some of the playing communities mindsets, over these things, but if you do not have your brand protected in some way, biggest thing I want to make sure to mention is if you get someone to do it and it's not someone we recommend, be on the lookout for scammers. Once you send this in, you should get no solicitation for bills. I got one literally this morning and one yesterday, $1,400. It's not a real bill. It's people who find out that you've recently attempted to trademark or copyright something, and they're sending you a fake bill, and they get rich doing this because people pay the bills without even thinking about it. You should consult a trademark and copyright lawyer, unless you're going to attempt to do it yourself. But my best word of advice is watch out for the scammers. But it makes sense to have your brand protected, because had the USPTO given this individual a trademark and copyright, or trademark specifically on ShedGeek, it would have cost me thousands upon thousands of dollars. I've heard numbers as much as $50,000 from people who have had to try and recoup their brand. So whether it's trademark or copyright, your website, your service, your product, it's really nice to have that brand protection. I understand it's an investment, but an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I believe that, if you can solve that ahead of time, you can solve yourself a lot of problems. I don't think there's just a ton of people going out here trying to copy our stuff. But then again, I get on some of these pages and I see where people are taking their pictures, their intellectual property. I mean, these are things that on the surface you say, well, I shouldn't have to have a lawyer to solve this problem. I should be able to call this person and talk to them. Not everyone's reasonable, first of all, and having that brand protection does not mean you have to sue anybody. It just means that it keeps people from trying to mimic your brand, create any debt on your brand name, which can become cumbersome in itself. And we've just been lucky enough to think ahead, get that stuff done ahead of time. If you want a connection there, we're looking at possibly making that part of our marketing services or simple advertising. We're not sure yet. Okay. So big fan of trademark copyright. I think you should have brand protection. I think we could do a whole episode on that. We have done an episode on that. I think we could go deeper on that. ShedGeek marketing. We're meeting with our team. We're getting ready to put out a podcast, and we're going to have a lot of these faces. I realize 6 years into this, 500 episodes in, I realize that you don't always know a lot of our team, or you might know some of our previous team, and some of those even have similar names. And we want to make sure to clarify. So we're going to put some faces to those names. So we're going to do an episode here coming up. Maybe it comes out before this one. I'm not sure. With all our marketing partners, Alan, Adil, Dylan, Jacob, Christopher, David, myself, Cord. We just did one on consultation recently where you saw Richard Mashburn, Peter Miller, Tyler Mahan, and also Christopher Sedlak. Christopher also operates as a service provider for us. So outside of just consultation, he actually does a lot of the services. So a lot of times what we find is when somebody needs consultation, it could be a larger company, which we've had the pleasure of having a few of those here recently. Those conversations and clients come on board, or could be that you're a dealer, could be that you're a small manufacturer and you just need some help. You need some ideas. You need somebody to be a sounding board. That was one of the things that we had recently, a gentleman who had, some brothers that were involved with his business and they're no longer there. And he misses the idea of being able to bounce those ideas off of them as a sole proprietor. We want to offer more than just being a sounding board, but we can definitely be somebody that has experience in multiple different disciplines, where we can offer, whether that's software development, business development, marketing development, we can connect you. So a lot of times, And what we've been finding a lot here lately that's been working is doing time blocks. So I don't want to sign up, Shannon. I don't want to sign up for this big cost. I don't want to have this big cost hanging over me for a year or 6 months. Maybe I just need a DIY project. I'd like to create my own website. I just need somebody to walk me through. Awesome. Contact us. Contact us and buy a time block. We'll set a number on that time block. You'll get so many hours with different people with different disciplines, whether it's building a custom coded website, a Wix site, a GoDaddy site, a WordPress site. We'll walk you through some of those conversations. We find that a lot of those people get frustrated in those DIY projects and say, we just prefer you to do it ourselves. But we know that the path to service provision through marketing or rent to own or anything is education. It is being someone who attempts to consult you anyway for free. And then if we get your business, we get it. So I'm talking about simple graphics, guys. If you're just someone who's setting it a lot and you're like, I'm not technically inclined, but I need some signage or I need a graphic that says this. Those little projects are things that we can take on. We can walk you through them or we can do them for you. I think these time blocks have been what has been really successful. And we're going to talk more about that in the marketing, where, once you talk to, or once you hear from a deal, Alan, Dylan, Jacob, Christopher, David, you might say, hey, I just need somebody to explain to me what a webhook is. Okay, give us a call. We want to talk about that. Whatever it is that you're like dealing with, we're trying to find a way to make it so you're not having to sign up for like this bigger overarching long-term cost, but you can get the solution to your problem that you need. And some of that we're just going to have to figure out as we go. And even custom software design, if you want to go much deeper, we have someone on the team that can absolutely do that. They've actually built out a something we haven't promoted yet for the plane communities is a option to text. Oh gosh, I'm going to mess it up if I try to explain it because he's going to do it so much better. But it's an option where you'll be able to text if you're in plane community to a platform that's going to then move that information out into email and back and forth. So there's a lot of functionality, and we're not just like trying to sell or promote things that we've already built. If you have an idea or have a need, contact us. We'll see if we can custom develop that software for you. Maybe it's a small organizing tool, somewhat adjacent to a CRM or something like that we can build if you're not doing the full CRM build out yet with Velocity. So where are we at? I put down 11:40. We're 6 minutes away and a lot to cover. Shed Geek Structures. I'll just tease on this briefly. We have partnered to put sheds on the ground. We think we're going to be in about 8 states before long. And we're looking for top performers. What is a top performer? I mean, somebody who knows how to sell. And if you're already selling other products, this is not going to complicate your mix. If you are a seasoned salesperson that's top in your with your company, we would love to talk with you because this does not complicate things because you can sell across the country. You can sell in different areas. You don't have to always just sell where you are. This is a complete online option that gives you the ability to close leads that we bring to you at a lower percentage, but also at no cost to you. And we'll see how things go from there. So if you're looking to grow, and you don't have a way to do that directly without upsetting your current provider, this is a solution that makes sense for you. So we are looking for top performers. If you want to contact me, we would love to chat with you. This would be strictly online. Shed Geek Rentals, can't say enough thank you to Titus and Josh and Gerald. We've got a little bit of a new management system in there. We are looking for, I know I have to be careful what I say with the FCC. We are looking for investors. We are looking for capital. We are on board for growth. We have seen growth and we want to see more growth. And the only way to do that is capital. So if you're somebody who's interested in that, has a personal relationship with me, I'd love to chat with you about that. I just want to make sure I stay in compliance and don't solicit that as a straight advertisement. State of the industry and what's to come. Oh, I wrote this down, and um, what is the state of the industry? I mean, I sometimes feel like I'm beating a dead horse whenever I say digital leads and race to face are going to continue to take market share. Of course, you can still put out a shed lot and never get on Facebook and never get on any type of like digital presence and still be successful. Of course, you can. For those who are looking to scale, those who are looking to grow, I think digital is still a very real thing. Uh, so much is trackable through the digital option as opposed to analog or print media. There's just a lot of value right now in that. But even in that, it's changing itself. I wrote down, and we just did an episode over AEO. For those of you guys that didn't hear that, answer engine optimization. The best way I know how to break it down in like a real life, what Jesus used parables. I'll try to use metaphors as best I can. You Google something, you search query something with a specific keyword. I mean, this has become common vernacular in our language. So you guys know this when someone says, what's the answer to that? I don't know. Go Google it. Well, based off what you decide to Google, it's going to bring you different results. And that's why SEO needs to be well defined. And we're happy to explain that on the most granular detail that you would like to be bored with. We'll be happy to show you how optimizing your site organically makes sense. But now with AI and AI overview, we're just really seeing a change in the market. And I even just did this. If you just want to search query exactly what I did, what did I put in? I put in website analytics due to AI overview in Google search bar. And I went through some of the website options, which is exactly what they're talking about, and went straight to the AI overview. And you guys will see this with Gemini a lot of times in Google. And literally the AI overview says Google AI overview fundamentally changes website analytics by driving a rise in zero-click searches, lowering overall click-through rates, CTRs, and shifting how website traffic is measured. And one of the specific things they talk about with CTRs in here is how studies show that when an AI overview is present, click-through rates drop significantly, falling from roughly 15% to 8%, with only about 1% of users clicking the actual links embedded inside the AI box, which is why we did an episode over answer engine optimization, which is going to be on the rise just as prevalent as search engine optimization. And these are things that not everybody in the shed industry has just figured out yet. So if you want to have a class over that, maybe we can just charge to get very granular or detailed over a webinar or provide a free webinar, if we've got enough people interested. Sometimes there's a struggle in trying to figure out when we're consulting and offering value that should be charged and when we should just be offering that for free. We offer a lot of free content on the podcast and on socials. So sometimes we have to pay the bills. I think you guys understand that. Informational traffic drops, non-branded informational and how-to content typically experience a year-over-year traffic contraction of 15% to 30%. So in other words, AI overview showing up, it's giving you the answer, so you never actually go and click on the website to get the information. And when people don't click on the website as much, they don't go down the funnel that's necessary to get them to fill out other information. So very nerd techie stuff that we're happy to discuss with you guys. I welcome a call. I don't know how to say that enough. I welcome a call so that we can figure out what the best plan of option is, attack is to like get you this information, whether you just want to DIY or you want to learn about it and then make a decision on what to purchase. So, I mentioned the word copycat earlier, brand protection, copycat culture. I don't want to get too much into that just because we kind of discussed that on trademark. That's another thing that, because there's so many companies named the same thing, you're losing so much domain authority, so much SEO authority because you're named the same things. This is why whenever you hear people say, what's different about you? Why are you unique? What's different? That's why it's important to be unique, is because Google and the bots are going to crawl your site and they're going to recognize the things that are different based off the word search queries. So not to get too technical or boring for you guys, but just want to make sure to mention that. Sorry for the losses of just what I feel like is so many different things we've seen in the industry this year. The gentleman, the shed hauler, and I think it was Wisconsin that passed away. Somebody shared a GoFundMe link on the Shed Sales Professionals page. Go check that out. Give if you can. Josiah Burnett. So sorry to hear about him. Young man, Mississippi, 28 years old, new pastor of a church. So many connections with him. I didn't know him personally, but I know so much of his family: Joe Gaither, Atlee Stewart, Aaron Burnett, just all the Burnetts. Like a big name in this industry. You built so much for this industry. I just want to say my complete condolences and prayers are with you and your family as you grieve during this time. I don't have a personal relationship with everyone in this industry, guys, so I don't always know when or if someone's passed away. And I'm actually spending a lot less time on social media, particularly Facebook these days. So I'm just so sorry. I'm grieved for them, and we always try to pray, the protection over those in the industry. And so I'm truly sorry to hear about that. And gosh, there's not a lot to be said. Even one of our marketing clients, he lost a grandpa and a child within 2 to 3 months, from each other. And it's just these things. I don't know what to do with them, other than to say I'm so sorry, and we pray with you for comfort and peace. I'll try to move on and finish up strong here with we want you to be on the podcast. We want you to come on and talk, have conversation, with no expectation of advertising, no expectation of taking up any of our services. We're happy if you do, but more than anything, we like to provide good valuable conversation for the listeners. So this is a call for everyone in the industry, whether you're a service provider, product provider, competitor, friend, foe, hauler, seller, manufacturer. We want your stories. We'd love to tell them. We do not see bringing you on as a guest as you bragging about what you do. We see them as testimonial. We see them as you telling something that helps other people in their adventure. And we love to build community. And that's one of the best ways to build community, is to have that conversation. So never feel, if you're reaching out, that it is a burden. We want to talk with you, no matter who you are. If you're in these industries, we want to know more about what you do, how you got here, what you're seeing, and we just want to offer good educational and entertaining podcast for people. It's what it boils down to. It's really that simple. So this is my call, my plea for those of you guys who want to be involved. We don't mind continuing to solicit, but feel free to reach out to us. We would love to talk with you. We'd love to know more about your story. We've had a couple people recently who said, man, we didn't know you'd be so transparent, so open, so honest. It's just who we try to be. It's just who we try to be. We're thankful that they came on, and without saying too much, they're gonna advertise with us. So that was pretty gnarly. I thought it was pretty neat. Oh gosh, what do I have? I was able to somehow ramble for 50 minutes there with my bullet points. If you're still listening, thank you so much. We're in year 6. I think we're pretty confident that we're going to go to year 10. I don't know what's beyond that. Maybe this just ends up being a 10-year endeavor. I don't know. I've got some personal things outside a podcast that I'd like to do. They're even outside the shed industry that we're looking at. Those, help fulfill your personal desires and things that you want to do, things you want to talk about. This is more of a local podcast, so we want to really focus on our local community, because we believe what we've learned from the shed industry is building community matters so much. And local community suffers more than ever when we're also connected. We're so distant more than ever at any point in history. So we want to build that. Cord wants to build that. He's a city council, and a shout out to Cord for him coming into Shed Geek and just being an impact, doing an amazing job on the Friday shows, and just being such a great knowledge provider, listener, and just friend overall. So, man, I just don't know what else I can add other than we're in year 6. I'm amazed that you guys continue to listen. I'm thankful that you guys continue to listen. It makes me feel like we're doing something right. We'd love to push your products, your services, your stories. Thankful to get a speaking event here in December where I'm going to speak. I'm open to those guys. You know, we had didn't even settle on a number. This guy asked me to be there, and I said I'd be there, and he said, "Well, I'll take care of you," and that was good enough for me. We didn't even put a cost to it. We'd love to come speak if you want us to speak. If you feel like we can add value. Um, Obviously, sheds are a big part of what we do. It's it's consumed me with a 200 hat collection and a 200 shirt collection and all of these cards and tumblers behind me. We want to give back to the industry the way they've given to us. Our family says thank you. It's really helped to create some long term um, options for us as a family. We all work together. My son, my wife, my daughter works part time with us. So thank you so much. Is I guess from the bottom of my heart the best thing I can say. I don't know how long you're going to listen to a podcast for me continuing to say thank you and promote people and their products and services. But thank you for letting me do this mid-year um, monologue. I hope you found it educational, entertaining, valuable in some way. And I hope you'll consider being a guest on the show. I really love talking with you guys. I'm going to end us in a prayer and we're going to get out of here for today. Lord, thank you as I stumbled through my words today here. Thank you for still showing me that you were here and guiding me and helping me to do the right things, to have the right conversations. Thank you for all of our partners, all our listeners, all those who find themselves in the shed industry today. Lord, the shed industry is made up of people. It is ultimately made up of people, and they're your people. And we know that this is just a segment of business and discipline that we get to be in, that ultimately all things, all roads lead back to you as they should. And we thank you for sending your son to die for us. We thank you for lifting us up where we fail, forgiving us in our failures. We ask that you continue to lead us, guide us, direct us, protect us, help make this industry strong, vibrant, and let it be something that pleases you when you think of what we do here on this lonely earth until we return home. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys listening. It does mean a lot.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Shed Geek Podcast. A quick thank you to our studio sponsor, ShedPro. Head over to shedpro.co/ShedGeek and take their free shed sales audit. It takes just a few minutes and it gives you a clearer picture of what's going on underneath. Thank you for listening as always. And thank you, ShedPro, for being this year's Wednesday studio sponsor on the Shed Geek Podcast.